3 months ago, we emptied our savings account chasing memories with our son. Now we're rebuilding this 40-year-old sailboat where we left off, except this time with a little bit less money. Today it's dust, varnish, epoxy, and refusing to quit. I don't claim to be a professional. Actually, quite the opposite. I've worked with two-part epoxy before on smaller projects, so I have a basic understanding of how it works, and I've done a lot of sanding over the years, just not sanding the fiberglass deck of a sailboat. So like everything else on this journey, we're learning as we go. So that's what we have to get to.
Wow.
That's the original fiberglass of the boat.
Wow.
Yeah. Because even just sanding down a little bit here, you're gonna have some ridges. I started off using my 5-inch orbital sander with 40 grit sandpaper, which is super aggressive. But honestly, it barely touched the surface of how much sanding this deck actually needed. So I quickly switched over to my heavy duty belt sander with 80 grit sandpaper. And let me tell you, this did the job. Almost a little too well. Knew that was gonna happen. I definitely neglected my PPE, and it bit me in the end. With all the fiberglass dust flying around, I could barely see half the time and completely lost track of the sanding cord. And let me tell you something, fiberglass dust is insanely itchy. Lesson learned.
Well, that fucker's done.
Next time it's full respirator protection and Tyvek suits, which you'll actually see in next week's episode.
El Stupido.
Kinda tired trying at the same shit. Kinda tired trying to give
Yeah, I was pretty stupid. I can't hook up my vacuum to it because it's blowing the fuse on my Honda 2000 generator. So I have to do it without the dust collection. And without the dust collection, I got stuff flying all over me and in my face, which I should have a respirator on, but I don't, of course. And I just ran over the cord, as you saw, so. All right, so after doing that, there's a lot more that needs to be taken down, I think. I don't know, I'm not sure how to do this. This is... So we're starting to refinish the floors on the inside. Teak and holly floors. They look okay, but they're actually pretty rough shape. So we're just starting here with a 320 grit. You can see all the lines in that. That's what you want to get out. You want to go with the grain, not in one spot any too long. So you're moving around a lot.
And basically I'm going to take up one section at a time, sand it one section at a time, and once all the streaks are out of it, these like grain marks,
Yeah.
then I will take it off, I guess, and then the varnish.
Yeah. Probably the best bet is to finish a piece like this and do a few of them like this, and then line them up to varnish them at the same time.
Yeah.
but and, I mean, it's a decent amount of work. Do that and clean up your paper here, you know.
Yep.
See, I mean, you could see all these little, you know, that's going to be the key, is this prep and taking this. It's going to take a long time. But if we do one panel at a time,
Yeah.
you know,
Rome wasn't built in a day.
neither was freedom.
No, it was not. Oh. Thankfully, it's not too hot out today. It's actually a beautiful breeze. I don't know how easy this would be if it were, you know, 90 degrees.
Sure to tune into our next episode as we bring these beautiful teak and holly floors back to life with fresh varnish. After all the sanding, dust, and chaos, it's finally time for freedom to start looking beautiful again. What I'm going to do now is clean this area off with acetone, and then I'm going to mix up a batch of thickened epoxy that's super thin and just do a layer all over all of this. It's all been sanded down. Some are a little bit thicker, like with the diamond still on it and cracks. Some are bare fiberglass, but I just want to test to see how well this is going to adhere to it either which way we do it. So this is really the area I'm going to work on right here, this center part. I like using a lot of acetone because really adhesion is super important. So we got to make sure there's no wax or debris or anything on there. So the tools I'm going to use for today is obviously I've got my West Systems epoxy that I've been using, container to mix it in, my acetone, and I'm bringing up the thickener. Got a little rubber squeegee type thing, as well as that. I'm going to mix up with a tongue depressor. I added West Systems 403 colloidal silica to my two-part epoxy for added strength. It's great for bridging gaps and reinforcing high-stress areas, which makes it perfect for a project like this. So Kristen and I took the last 45 minutes to just relax on the boat, which was really nice. And we just talked about a couple things out loud, and I think I'm happy with what we did. In next week's episode, I'll show you exactly how I measured and mixed the 403 into the epoxy. But so far, I'm really happy with the results. This gave the deck a solid foundation to build on, and honestly, it feels really good seeing Freedom finally moving in the right direction. This is the test area, which is still wet and tacky, but this is where I just did the thickened epoxy over the non-skid. And you could see it doesn't look so great. So I think what I'm gonna do is sand down everything. Sand down the entire deck. It doesn't have to go to all the bare fiberglass, just as long as it's smooth. Like these areas weren't bare fiberglass, but they were sanded down a lot and enough where a little bit of epoxy will level it out and it will also adhere. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.